Welcome back to the cutting board. There are so many great dessert recipes that can be elevated with some whipped cream. But if you're on a plant-based diet, how do you get some whipped cream? Today, I'm asking Marlene to show me how to make vegan whipped cream.
Okay, so we're going to use some different ingredients here today. We're not going to use the cow's milk cream and all that stuff. We're using cashews, we're using agar, which is a unique ingredient.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain what this is to me.
Okay, so agar is made out of seaweed, and it's just used to thicken our whipped cream so that it actually becomes like a brick,
Now,
and then we reprocess it.
I'm not going to be buying this at the grocery store.
You can in some health grocery stores like Whole Foods or the co-ops, health food stores, but I find that if I go to an Asian store, I get it at about a quarter of the cost.
Okay.
And it looks different when you buy it. Sometimes it's in these long, like hairy strings in bags. Sometimes it comes in this shape in long strips. Other times you'll find it in powder or in flakes. If you use powder, you're going to use less because it's more concentrated. And today I'm going to be using the stick. It's called an agar stick. If you go to the store and ask for agar, sometimes they don't even know what you're talking about because it may be called different things, but it usually has agar written on it.
Okay.
So
cashews, agar.
We're using coconut milk, we're using honey, a little vanilla seasoning, and some xanthan gum to give it a rich creaminess.
All right.
Yeah.
So how are we going to start making
Well, the
this
first
cream?
thing we're going to do is take some cashews and put it in with a cup of water and boil it for a little while with
What's a little while?
3 minutes of boiling time. Okay, and I'm going to take 6 inches of the agar stick and put it in the 1 cup of water with the cashews and just kind of push it down into the water, and it just starts to melt.
Yeah, it's dissolving.
It's dissolving, and we're going to put the lid on it just to bring it to a boil, and it just needs about a minute of actual boiling time or simmering time. And then we're going to blend this. So now that our cashews and agar have cooked for about a minute, they've simmered there, we're going to blend this. And cashews just add a richness to any kind of sauce that you're trying to make. And so we're going to also add some coconut milk. You can find really nice organic coconut milk in cans. And we're just going to add that all in here.
How much coconut did you use?
This is 1 can of coconut milk. And don't buy the low fat, because when you eat whipped cream, what are you looking for? You're looking for something rich, right? It's supposed to add some richness to your recipe, your dish. And so you want to have the full fat coconut milk. And now we're going to measure out 1/3 cup of honey. Now, I always found it very frustrating in measuring honey because of the fact that you lose so much of it on your measuring spoon or cup. So I found out that if I just do a quick spray of some cooking spray, some olive oil spray or another vegetable oil, and then if I put my honey in the measuring cup, it'll just fall out.
It'll slide off.
It'll slide out, yeah. So we have some nice clover honey here. Our family is a beekeeping family, so this is very fresh honey. But because it's colder weather now, and we keep the barrels in the garage, it gets a little bit more in the solid state.
All right.
But you can use solid honey or you can use the liquid honey, and look at how it's just falling out.
Yeah, it just comes off.
Yeah, I didn't quite spray the one edge as
so
well.
So your measurement is more accurate.
Yeah, and it comes out clean, and you don't waste. I hate to waste food, you know.
Especially honey.
Yeah, it's expensive and labor intensive. And so now we're going to put a little bit of coconut extract in there just for a little richer flavor. It adds a nice richness also. And then the xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is actually grown on sugar. It's a health food kind of thickener and makes it very smooth.
And how much did we put in?
About a 1/4 teaspoon.
About a quarter teaspoon.
And then we're going to put just a touch of vanilla. You can also get a transparent vanilla extract that actually gives a better color but I don't have any here today. And just 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Salt actually, even though we're making a sweet whipped cream, it picks up the sweetness of any dish that you make, so it doesn't taste so flat. Now we're going to just blend this, and we're going to blend it. I love using the Vitamix because it'll really make it smooth, because you don't want any granules in there.
Okay.
So here we go. We're going to blend away.
So this has been blending for about 2-3 minutes, and now that's finished. It's creamy, but what happens if I don't have a Vitamix? Because you were talking about using it in the Vitamix.
Right. So if you don't have a Vitamix, we have to do things just a little bit different, because otherwise you'll have a grainy type of whipping cream. So what we want to do is put all the ingredients in the blender except for half of the coconut milk, so that the cashews are going to blend with less liquid. You're going to get a smooth, creamy cashew. Then you can liquefy it further with the leftover half can of coconut, and you'll have the same kind of product.
All right.
Okay? So now we've blended this, and we're going to put it in the refrigerator for a few hours until it becomes solid. It actually becomes like a solid cheese where you can cut it. That's the solidity that we're looking for.
So it's not ready yet.
It's not ready yet. It tastes really good though.
It tastes good, but this is not the finished whipped cream.
Right. We want to make it fluffier. Now it's a creamy sauce, but we're going to make it fluffier.
All right, so we're going to refrigerate this.
So we're going to take the one that I already refrigerated.
Now you refrigerated it inside the container?
I did, because then I don't have to wash it and put it back in the blender again and then wash the blender again.
But if you need to use the blender for something else, you could take that out, refrigerate it in something else, then get it back in there.
And then put it back in the blender the next day. I made this one last night, so we're going to reblend that one.
So we have one here that's already refrigerated.
Yes.
That you took care of, and we're going to refrigerate this one.
Exactly. We're going to refrigerate this one, and this one was in the refrigerator. And so you can see it's very solid, okay? Very solid. And if I stick my spatula in it, it just comes out pretty solid here. And if you want it even thicker, just add a few more inches of agar to it, and it would become even thicker for like maybe a cake frosting.
So at this point, we're not adding anything to it.
We're not adding anything else to it.
All the work was done by cooling it down in the refrigerator.
Yes, okay. So you're gonna have to work with your blender on this.
So we're taking what's really thick, and we're just kind of basically adding air to it to make it whipped.
Okay. So now we're going to pour some of this cream out so you can taste it, David.
All right.
Okay. Actually, if we had put in maybe 3 more inches of agar stick, it would have been a stand-up kind of whipped cream. Okay. So this is good for a more liquidy.
So what am I going to use this on? Because you don't eat this like whipping cream.
Well, some people do.
You might eat whipping cream straight out of the can, but what am I going to use this on? I'm going to use this on crepes.
Yes,
what else?
You can ice a cake with it. You can also put it on a flan. You can put it on cupcakes. If I was going to ice a cake on it, sometimes I might mix some raspberries into it as well, or some strawberries. And
what else could you do with it?
What else could you do with it? On fruit salad, it's really nice, just with breakfast.
Fruit
cereal.
salad, parfait. It tastes really, really good like this. I can totally understand what you said about icing a cake with this.
And you can feel good about eating it because you don't have all the cholesterol in it, and you don't have animal protein, which has been proven to increase your risk with cancer.
So this here, you cannot taste any cashew at all. It's just for thickness that you added it in here.
And it's rich, isn't it?
It's really rich.
Creamy, sweet.
Perfect for all those kind of things we were talking about. And you can come back to an episode of The Cutting Board where we're going to actually make some of those recipes like crepes where you use this sauce.